Yeah, you got it. My grandson is out here helping me. He was pushing the red button. How are you guys? I am fantastic today. Um, got a good night's sleep. Quit having an asthma attack. So I'm having a good day. I'm cooking spaghetti for lunch, and that is because I was watching somebody else's video last night. Um, Gosh, I can't think of that lady's channel name. I'll put it in the description. I like to watch her cook. She cooks things her mom made, and they always look delicious. But anyway, she was making homemade spaghetti sauce last night, and I was watching it like at midnight, and I was thinking if I had spaghetti in my fridge, I would go eat it right now, even though I'm not hungry. It just looks so good. Yesterday, or the day I did the tag, I showed you a book, Star Over Adobe by Dorothy Pillsbury. Those were the books about about some families growing up in New Mexico, living in New Mexico during one of the wars. I don't remember if it was one or two. It's been a long time since I've reread them, but anyway, I love those books because it sounded like home. And one of the things that I really could relate to in the books was she talks about while she's walking somewhere, seeing red geraniums planted in Folgers coffee cans at almost every house. And when I was a child, I remember walking to the library, and a lot of homes would have red geraniums planted in coffee cans. If there's anybody here very young, coffee cans used to be metal, not plastic. Oh, I've got another story about a metal coffee can. But anyway, I just loved flowers. I don't remember ever having any flowers at our home. I don't think we ever planted any. I don't think we ever had a house plant. But my next door neighbor, she lived in a house that was exactly the same floor plan, little cracker box of a house. I doubt if it was even 900 square feet. It was probably much smaller than that. But anyway, her house was built exactly like ours. After World War II, a lot of houses were built, and they were all really small. It was those houses. But anyway, not now, Rhett. Just wait just a second, baby. The next door neighbor's house had a white picket fence all around the backyard. And across the fence at the alley, she had apricot trees. And then on the two sides of the fence in the backyard, she had flower beds from one end of the fence to the other. And she had the most gorgeous plants growing there. She did not like my family. And I remember one day, I was on my side of the fence, just scrunched down, looking at the flowers. There were some that looked like little bouquets. Now I know they were verbena. At that time, I had no clue. But she had all kinds of flowers. And I just loved looking at them. But she came out and she told me to get away from the fence and not pick her flowers. I hadn't picked any flowers. I knew I would have been in big trouble. I wouldn't even have thought about picking her flowers. But anyway, I loved looking at her flower beds from afar. But anyway, walking to the library, I saw a lot of red geraniums growing in coffee cans. And that began my love affair with red geraniums. All my adult life, I've had red geraniums planted somewhere. And one year, I worked at the library, and we had a gallery wall that local artists could hang their paintings on for a month by invitation. And this one year, it was the year my daughter was a senior because she was graduating. I had pneumonia. I was so dadgum sick. I really, really wondered if I would make it. And I kept thinking, if I live through this, I'm going to buy that red geranium painting that's hanging on the gallery wall at the library. I never have purchased a painting before in my life, And after I paid for it, I contacted the lady in charge of that wall at work and told her I would like to know the price of that because I really wanted it. And so she told me, and I probably got my tax refund close to that time or something, why I was able to even buy it. And I bought it. And then later she told me that lady let you have the painting for the price of the freight. I have always appreciated that lady. She's passed away now. But anyway, I'm going to show you a picture of my red geranium painting. Just a second. Hi guys, it's Carol. How are you? I'm doing good. Just got through playing Uno with my grandkids. I love to play cards. And they're eating lunch while I film this. I made the best pot roast. Oh, I love roast. I always do roast in the crock pot. And I use the seasoning packet. I think it's crock pot brand. It's a savory pot roast. I'll try to. I was going to take a picture of it, but I already thrown it away and gunk was on it. But anyway, try that sometime. Oh, they are so good. You just put your roast and your vegetables in there, and you mix this powder up with like a cup of water, stir it all up, and get it blended and pour it over them, and that's it. It is wonderful. But anyway, we were talking about geraniums yesterday. We didn't get that posted. So I was going to tell you another little story about, I was talking about geraniums being planted in Folgers coffee cans. When I was little, I was either in second or third grade, we had these 3 concrete steps going up to the back door, and there weren't rails or anything, just these concrete steps. And my mom had water in an old Folgers can, metal can. They were red, and then there was a silver rim around the top. And anyway, she had that next to the steps for my dog to have water. Well, I was outside playing in the dirt, and it started to rain, so I was running for the house, and the steps, those concrete steps, were slick. And as soon as I tried to run up them, I slipped on the wet rain and fell off the porch, and my foot went down on that coffee can. When my heel hit the coffee can, the rim popped off, and then it's just razor sharp metal. And my whole weight went on that foot, down the can, sliced my foot up. Awful. Oh, I bled like crazy. We didn't have a car. It was just me and my mom at home. She called an aunt that lived clear on the other side of town to come get us, to take me to the emergency room, and I had to have my foot all sewed up. Oh, it hurt horrible. But anyway, I buy dog food bowls. We were so poor, but the dog was lucky to have an empty Folgers can. But oh my gosh, that was a very traumatic thing from my childhood. Just sliced my foot. Still have a scar. So if you have metal cans, don't use them for anything. Don't do that. I don't know anything else today. Actually, I told you about my neighbor and all her flowers. We lived there until I was in the 6th grade, and then our house caught on fire, and I left. And we had not had flowers in our house up until that time, but my mom was burned seriously, really, really bad. And she was in the hospital, and her sister lived in Tucson. We lived in New Mexico. And she sent my mom a dozen red roses, and they came in this emerald green glass vase. Honestly, first of all, I didn't know you could send flowers to people. I didn't know people got flowers. Honestly, I had such a weird childhood. And I thought those roses were the most beautiful thing ever. And that green, emerald green glaze vase, I thought was absolutely beautiful. I think that's when that prompted me to like, gemstone colors, you know, ruby and sapphire and emerald green, I just think are gorgeous. Anyway, my mom received this dozen roses in this emerald green glass bowl, and I thought that was just the most magnificent thing. Um, and that's why I love to have cut flowers, because that was like an eye-opening event, that you could get flowers and you could bring them in the house and have fresh cut flowers in the house. I didn't know that. Now, whenever I have some extra money, I always buy flowers from the grocery store. Like, they're $5 a bunch, and I love to have fresh flowers. But that was amazing for me to learn that you could have cut flowers and bring them in your home. And after that, we moved. The house burned, and then we moved, and eventually things got better for us. And my mom did have flowers, not in the house, but she did have a house plant in the house, but she always planted petunias in this pot that my aunt gave her on their front porch. But up until that time, flowers were not a part of my life, except to look from far away from that white picket fence so that neighbor wouldn't yell at me. But anyway, I love red geraniums, and I love all kinds of cut flowers. All right, I'm going to go. This is getting to be too long. I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. All that stuff. Here in my area, we have, as of last night, we have 732 cases and 15 deaths. I have no problem wearing a mask, wearing gloves, as long as I've got them. If I have to go anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. But if I do, I'm wearing my mask. It's a serious thing. I just never in my lifetime thought there would be a plague like this, that there would be... I know there's not a food shortage, really. It's just that people have hoarded. Although in our area, the meat packing plants, the virus has gone through workers like crazy, and that's a big problem. So meat may be kind of hard to come by. But anyway, never in my lifetime did I dream I'd ever live through something like this. But here we are. But we're going to get through it. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.